Hello friends, I just wanted to make this quick video to expand a little on the drama triangle that I mentioned on Sunday. And the drama triangle is a framework or a model that was developed by Stephen Cartman as a way to understand dysfunctional communication. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and thought to yourself, what the heck just happened? Maybe you had an intention or a direction that you wanted to take the conversation, but somehow everything got twisted up. You ended up miles away from where you wanted to be and not knowing what the heck happened and how you got there. Well, if you've experienced that, chances are you've experienced a drama triangle and what Stephen Cartman calls a game. And games are the behavioral patterns that we learn right from childhood. It's the etiquette and the unspoken rules that we operate by in order to keep some kind of equilibrium or balance in our life. And games are played when individuals inside the drama triangle switch roles. And the three roles that we have in the drama triangle are the persecutor, the rescuer, and the victim. And each one of these roles has an agenda. So the persecutor wants to be overfeared. So they want to be the boss. They want to be in control. The rescuer wants to be overappreciated. So they want to be congratulated and really acknowledged for all the work that they do, or maybe even work that they didn't do. And then the victim wants to be overhelped. So they want someone to step in, make the decisions, take control, and it's a really great way to avoid any kind of accountability. The way we get drawn into these into the drama triangle is through an invitation. And each one of these roles has a typical invitation. So typically a persecutor might send out an invitation with, you never do anything right. A rescuer might send out an invitation that sounds like, but I'm only trying to help you. And the victim might send out an invitation. It might sound like, oh, poor me. And when an invitation is extended, we have the opportunity to accept the invitation or decline the invitation. Now, when we accept the invitation, most of the time we do that without even knowing that an invitation has been given and that we have accepted it. And most of us will gravitate towards one of those roles naturally, but of course, in a game, at any time, anyone can switch roles. Now, does this mean that every time that we try to help someone or offer some constructive criticism or maybe show some vulnerability, that we're extending an invitation into the drama triangle? No, that is not true, because each one of these roles also has a positive flip side. So for a persecutor who might be bossy and really picky and controlling, the positive flip side looks like someone who's able to give constructive criticism, maybe give appropriate discipline and direction. The rescuer, who looks like someone who insinuates themselves into situations that they weren't asked to participate in, or maybe offers help that is beyond their capabilities. The healthy flip side of that is someone who has a servant's heart, who is really generous with their resources and their time and is willing to help without looking for any recognition. And then a victim who looks like someone who is very poor me and looking for someone to kind of step up and do the work for them. The healthy flip side to that is someone who can be vulnerable, who can accept the help, and who is willing to hear correction and maybe change direction. How do we know the difference, whether our actions are an invitation into the drama triangle or whether they're a healthy expression of those roles? Well, the first thing to do is to check our motivation. So if we are doing something so that we can get congratulations, or we can get someone to maybe do something that for us that we don't want to do, or maybe so that someone, so that we can take that one-up position and kind of be the boss, that would indicate that maybe that's not a healthy expression of those roles. But this is going to require that we take the time to really examine ourselves and our motivations and a willingness to be transformed. Now, someone who was really adept at functioning in these healthy expressions of these roles, of course, is Jesus. So when he offered correction and direction, it wasn't so that he would become feared and known as a great teacher or something like that. It was really about correcting and pointing to the Father. When he rescued people, like the woman who was caught in adultery, it wasn't so that people would pat him on the back and say, aren't you so compassionate? It was really out of a heart of compassion for that woman, and also to, once again, point people to the Father. And then finally, we have the ultimate expression of humility and vulnerability when Jesus hung on the cross and took our sins as his own so that we could be forgiven. That wasn't about him playing some sort of a role, but it was a real authentic expression of his humility and vulnerability. So how do we avoid the drama triangle in our day-to-day lives? One of the first things that we need to do is understand that it's happening. So be aware of what's going on. Be aware when we're someone's sending out an invitation, and also when we are accepting that invitation. You know, if you have the same argument all the time with someone, it's the same fight all the time, nothing changes, the same issue is always there, there's a good chance that you are trapped in some kind of dance in the drama triangle. And it takes a bit of awareness to understand that and see that, and then make the moves to step out of that drama triangle. The second thing to do is decide not to accept invitations. Once we get really adept at understanding when people are extending invitations, then we can start to decline those invitations and just avoid that drama triangle altogether. And finally, the last thing is to be authentic. You know, I think a lot of us can relate to times when maybe something has sort of rubbed us the wrong way, and maybe we've gone silent or changed our demeanor, and someone says, oh, you know, what's wrong? And we say, oh, nothing, I'm just tired. Well, that isn't being authentic. That isn't really what's going on. A more authentic approach to that would be something like, you know, in our conversation, something rubbed me the wrong way. I just want to sit with it for a while, and when I'm ready, that we can talk about it. So that's a way to be authentic without extending that invitation into the drama triangle. You know, the great thing about understanding the drama triangle is that the more we understand it, the more we can avoid it. The more we avoid it, the less we attract people to us who kind of operate in the drama triangle. And the end result is definitely more peaceful and stable relationships. And just something to keep in mind is that if you have long-term relationships like family or a partner, and you've been in a behavioral pattern for a long time, any changes will get pushed back because any changes that we make force other people to change. And so it can be a bit of an uncomfortable process. If you find that this is really resonating with you on some level, you want to know more, or maybe you find that you are kind of caught in some behavioral patterns that you're hoping to step out of, then feel free to contact me. You can email me at msmith@livinghopecounseling.com. I'd be happy to chat with you. And you know, otherwise, I hope that there was something valuable in here that you can sit with for a while and see if it resonates with you and how you can apply it to your life. And hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care.